Welcome to the Mindful Spark. My name's Dave, and in this video we'll be covering the science from week 2 of the Reclaim Your Past, Reset Your Future series. And in this week we're dealing directly with the exhausted or under stress brain, and what can happen when we become under pressure or get very tired or very stressed. Our thought loops can be continual, and it's like we never get a chance to actually rest our brain, that it's continually on. And even though the brain only takes up 2% of our body mass, it can use between 20 and 25% of the energy that we consume and generate. So if we can quiet and calm the brain, it means that we have a lot more resources and energy for other activities for our bodies. Now, the meditation deals specifically with being able to soothe the brain and just allow us to become calmer, the thoughts to quieten. When the brain does get exhausted and we go into that state, the Taoists have a phrase for it where they say the brain seems to have caught fire, where it consumes itself, and that leads to the classic phrase burnout. And there are lots of activities we can do to help reduce that. And say we're working on figures all day, that part of our brain can get tired, so it can be very helpful to take pauses and do something completely different. Daydreaming is an excellent thing to do, to just let the mind wander and give that other part of the brain a chance to rest. Doing things like walking to the car or the bus on our way home, just noticing something around us on our walk that we've never noticed before, like maybe number 10 had a new front door put in, or somebody else got a new car or put in new flowers in their garden, or just something that you haven't noticed before. It's very helpful to get out of the head. Things like Tai Chi, yoga, dancing, anything that gets the body working and coordinating movement can be very helpful. But even things like placing plants on our desk can really change the environment we're in and give a better sense of calmness and a nicer surrounding. When the brain does get exhausted and under a lot of pressure, there's a part called the amygdala, and that's the fear center. It's the emotional center of the brain, and as it gets enlarged, it starts being more active. So it starts perceiving more threats, even where there aren't any. So the more we do the meditation from this week, and actually all the meditations in this series, it should calm and reduce the amygdala actually in size. The cortex, which is the thinking part of the brain, also has been shown to thin out and be less active the more stressed and under pressure we are for a prolonged period of time. So it's really important for us to learn to reset our stress levels. And it's about doing it several times a day, whether we need it or not, because as stress levels build, we often don't notice it until we're ready nearly to explode. But if we can start the day by going, I'm going to reduce my stress levels, maybe do something at lunchtime, even a 10-minute walk, reducing the stress levels. Come home in the evening, just choose to breathe 4 to 5 times and say, I'm leaving work behind, I'm now at home. It can be really helpful. Allow the brain to be quieter, to be calmer. Another tool that's often used is to be able to notice the thoughts we're having and say, is this thought helpful or relevant to me right now? Because even though we have tens and thousands of thoughts every day, most of them aren't useful and relevant right now in this moment, and they're usually about something else. And when we can start to just noticing those thoughts and say, yes, I've had that thought, but it's not helpful and I'm going to let it go. Over time, our brain will actually quieten, and rather than being a slave to our own brain, we can take back some control. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you.